Welcome to Wesley Impact. I'm Keith Garner. How important is it to connect with people who share interests and to encourage one another? Thank you for joining us today. As Wesley Mission, we know the importance of being part of a community. All too often we see people who, for whatever reason, find themselves isolated and alone, cut off from any meaningful relationships and not part of a friendship circle or a community of people. Today I'd like to look at that issue from two perspectives. Firstly, through our work in the area of work we call Brighter Futures. This is where we work with families for up to 18 months to help them to stay together, addressing issues such as mental health, drug and alcohol abuse, domestic violence, intellectual challenges, and parenting difficulties that can so often drive families apart. By addressing the issues, we seek to help families find a sense of belonging and purpose. We'll find out more about our Wesley Brighter Futures programme in just a moment. And secondly, by speaking with my guest today. Robyn Morris is part of a group of women who come together under the banner of Teapot Ministries. For the past 18 years, the women involved have met and shared their interests and built relationships. They also have an annual weekend retreat, a couple a year, where they invite speakers and sponsor women who they'd like to encourage. I'm looking forward to a conversation with Robyn a little later. Leah Brett will join us and the Wesley Impact Band as they sing Hour of Love. And I'll share some thoughts on Jesus' caring ministry and what insights it gives us into his nature. I hope it'll remind us all of our responsibility to care for one another. But first, I mentioned our work with Wesley Brighter Futures, where we work to support families and help them stay together. By strengthening the family unit, the parents and children all feel a greater sense of connectedness. Let's take a look together.
Safe Care is a program really to enhance parent and child interaction. I believe that even a family that has really good parenting is still going to get benefit from the Safe Care program. That's why I say every single family can use Safe Care.
We work with vulnerable families. We work with families that are at high risk, so they will have had risk of significant harm report made on families. They have mental health issues, drug and alcohol issues. They might have developmental issues. There's a whole range of things that we work with.
It reduces the risk of child abuse and neglect. It's a sustainable change, so it's not something that a service comes in and says you need to do this, this and that, and your kids will be safe. It actually equips them and gives them the skills and builds their capacity to be able to make lifelong changes for their children.
It's actually done in the home, in the parents' and children's natural environment, so I think that that's actually quite unique because parenting programs are done in groups, and actually working one-on-one with the parent is actually very unique as well.
It really gives practical skills to families to be able to minimise the risk of harm to their children in a way that they're coached and supported to practice those skills.
So we go out to their homes, we do an assessment process, look for what types of things we need to work on with the family to increase the safety of the children.
We don't want to walk into a home and just tell them this is what you need to do, but we want to use open-ended questions, reflecting, summarizing statements so that the family really feels comfortable with the provider, and also they feel as if any change is coming from them, not from someone telling them to change.
Seeing an impact that Safe Care is strengthening families' confidence in their abilities. And I think that Safe Care is so remarkable because it's a very consistent program. So it doesn't matter what worker you get or their level of experience, every family is going to be trained and coached and given the same support.
As far as just what Safe Care teaches, it's very practical, but it's something that sometimes practicality is not known, it's not so common among everyone. So even though we might be good parents, there's always something more that we can learn.
If you would like to learn more about Wesley Mission, visit wesleymission.org.au. You can find help in our community services, connect with our church and congregations, discover a volunteer role that suits you, stay up to date on the latest news and information, donate to support our work, and help make a positive difference in your community. You can also connect with us on social media and subscribe to receive the latest news and information about Wesley Mission directly into your inbox. Visit wesleymission.org.au.
Don't you hesitate to be in touch if you'd like to find out more about our work in Wesley Mission in a broad scope of different ways, or if we can be of help to you. The contact details are on the screen now. I asked a question about the importance of spending time with people who share interests, who need to encourage one another in what they do. Someone who knows a little of the value of taking time out to spend with friends who share similar interests is my guest, Robyn Morris, the founder of Teapot Ministries today. Robyn, good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Tell us a bit what Teapot Ministries is about.
Well, we minister to women through women's interests, and that involves all interests, not just specific ones, but I suppose we're mainly involved in the patchworking, quilting side of things. We run events mainly where women can gather together, share their interest, and also feel loved and special.
How long has it been running, just to give us
Around about 18 years. Yeah.
And what started it off?
A weekend that I ran for some women, and I just felt God say, these women need to be loved and cared for. How are you going to do it? And God put it on my heart to reach out to just your average woman and to give her some time and space to be loved and shared.
Is it something of isolation that creates that? I mean, I'm trying to think of what it would be, or it can be any kind of situation.
Yeah, pretty much any kind of situation, really. We have women all ages, from all different backgrounds, but it's just women coming together and sharing.
The weekends are obviously important. What do you do at the weekends?
We have a lot of fun. We have a special speaker whose our weekends are themed, so we have a theme, and this year it's on butterfly wings. So we're going to look at new creations.
Yes.
And that also goes through into our projects. We have various projects that women can choose to do, or they bring their unfinished objects, or UFOs as they are known. And our speaker will speak into that theme.
Yes.
And then we have project time. We have a banquet dinner on the Saturday night, which is usually a lot of fun. And then we have a slipper and tracky dack time where we sit and watch a girly movie as well. But we have somebody come and do massages, and we've had women do nails and beauticians, so women can really be blessed and pampered if they come.
And can you see the change in a weekend?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. From when they come in on Friday night, tired and worn out, and they go home with a big smile, refreshed and re-energised and ready to take on what life has for them, that's when I get my buzz. I'm thrilled to see them go home happy.
But you do more than that. You support local community things as well, so that people feel that they're engaged in doing something.
We do a lot of charity work. We've probably donated to well over 20 charities over the years, mainly women and family orientated.
Yes.
But we make quilts. We've just delivered 24 quilts to the disaster relief people. We do the bracelets for the Samaritan's Purse. We've done quilts for what they call sensory quilts for the people in retirement villages for dementia. We just work on a lot of different charities. We're actually going to, in our retreat coming up, or in our charity day, I should say, coming up, work on the kits for Days for Girls, which are to go to the third world countries. So yes, we pick up particularly on women's interests, but yes, we do a lot of different...
Why do you do it?
Because God puts that love in my heart, and I'd like them to feel God's love. And so I like to feel as though I am, serving Him and giving women a chance to really feel blessed and feel His love more than anything else.
There's some people who come and share with you feel a bit reluctant at first.
They can do. They're shy that, what's going on. But as we gather together and we laugh and we joke and we carry on, and we also give them a bag of goodies, so they get various goodies, and on their pillows each night they'll get a little bit of agape that has a meaning for the weekend, or a little word of God or something. We encourage them that way throughout the weekend.
So, for you, the Christian faith's important. You've been involved in your life of your church, in your Baptist church, where you shared in ministry and leadership at one time. How important is the Christian faith to you, if you were to try to explain it?
It's the basis from which I operate. God is my Heavenly Father, and I just, I love being in His presence, and I love serving Him where He calls me. So, yes, that's probably just the background of where I've always come from.
You call Teapot Ministries, you got a few of those?
A few teapots? Oh, yeah, I've got a few. I have promised my husband I won't go more than 100. So, and they are big and they are little.
Yeah, sure.
But, yeah.
So if anybody calls, there's always a brew ready.
Always a cuppa on the stove ready to go.
Well, we wish you well in that ministry, and I look forward to hearing a little bit more later in the show of what it is that you do that makes that ministry effective. So thank you. Just hang around, if you will, for just a few moments. We're going to welcome now on the show Leah Brett and the Wesley Impact Band, and they're going to sing a piece that I think you're going to enjoy, singing Hour of Love.
Time for healing, a moment in the morning for prayer. Begin anew with sunrise, wipe the dust from your eyes, be rid of your disguises again. A little for your father, a little for your mother, a little for your sister, a little for your brother, a little love for your soul will make you whole. If you're looking for protection, learn to read directions written in the depths of your soul. Remember in the new day, sit in peace, meditate. Stillness takes you farther than you know. A little for your father, a little for your mother, a little for your sister, a little for your brother, a little love for your soul will make you whole. La 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 If you want to walk in power, dedicate an hour for the shower of love. Do it in the evening, you will be receiving the peace that you've been leaving behind. A little for your father, a little for your mother, a little for your sister, a little for your brother, a little love for your soul will make you whole. Get rid of your disguises again. Get rid of your disguises again. Get rid of your disguises again.
Experience the Galilee and the towns and cities where Jesus was raised and called his home. Capernaum, Nazareth, Tabgha, Magdala, Caesarea Philippi, Bethsaida, Tiberias, and of course the Sea of Galilee all feature in this 6-part series as Keith Garner explains the first century context of biblical events.
Jesus was born during a time of change in the political and economic leadership of this region. Fishermen around a lakeside was really one of the big businesses. Why Jesus? Why didn't people ignore him? Why did they take him seriously? And what are the questions we should be asking today if we're going to take Jesus seriously?
The Man of Galilee is available now and comes with a study guide for leaders, small groups and individuals. For more, visit wesleymission.org.au.
This week I'm with the disciples in the post-resurrection appearances, and I'm going to read a longer than usual passage because it's so full of meaning from John 21 and beginning at verse 1 through to 19. Afterward, Jesus appeared again to his disciples by the Sea of Galilee. It happened this way. Simon Peter, Thomas, also known as Didymus, Nathanael from Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and 2 other disciples were together. I'm going out to fish, Peter told them. And they said, we'll go with you. So they went out and got in the boat, but that night they caught nothing. Early in the morning, Jesus stood on the shore, but the disciples did not realize that it was Jesus. He called out to them, friends, haven't you any fish? No, they answered. He said, throw your net on the right side of the boat and you'll find some. When they did, they were unable to haul the net because of the large number of fish. Then the disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, it's the Lord. As soon as Simon Peter heard him say, it is the Lord, he wrapped his outer garment around him, for he'd taken it off, and jumped into the water. The other disciples followed in the boat, towing the net full of fish, for they were not far from the shore, about 100 yards. When they landed, they saw a fire burning coals on it, with the fish on it and some bread. Jesus said to them, bring some of the fish you've just caught. So Simon Peter climbed back into the boat and dragged the net ashore. It was full of large fish, 153, but even with so many, the net was not torn. Jesus said to them, come and have breakfast. None of the disciples dared ask him, who are you? They knew it was the Lord. Jesus came and took bread and gave it to them and did the same with the fish. This was now the 3rd time Jesus appeared to his disciples after he was raised from the dead. When they'd finished eating, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? Yes, Lord, he said, you know that I love you. Jesus said, feed my lambs. Again, Jesus said, Simon, son of John, do you love me? He answered, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. Jesus said, take care of my sheep. The 3rd time he said to him, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter was hurt because Jesus asked him the 3rd time, do you love me? He said, Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. Jesus said, feed my sheep. Very truly, I tell you, when you were younger, you dressed yourself and you went where you wanted. But when you're old, you will stretch out your hands and someone else will dress you and lead you where you do not want to go. Jesus said this to indicate the kind of death by which Peter would glorify God. Then he said to him, follow me. Jesus appeared again. It's interesting, right at the beginning of the ministry of Jesus, it was about calling and following. And so we read in verse 1 in this passage here that Jesus appeared again. It was not all the disciples. You notice that there's a list there. It was a group of disciples, but they weren't all even named. But that group were an important group, for they went out fishing. It was returning to what they felt they knew best. This is what they did. They fished, and so they returned to what perhaps was their skill base, the thing that mattered most to them. It was a night of despondency. That's when people fish. They fished at night, and it was very much a night of despondency for professional fishermen, because we're told very clearly these words are very powerful when we read them in this gospel. I'm going to fish. We'll go with you. But that night they caught nothing. We can only begin to understand what that must have meant for Peter in particular. Jesus understands their sense of sadness. And that's why it tells us quite clearly, friends, haven't you any fish? No. But Jesus gave them a solution to their problem, to their dilemma. We're told that they're to do something particular. Throw out your net on the right side of the boat and you'll find some there. However, he's giving them far more than just a catch of fish, because it's the recognition of who he is and the change and the difference that will actually make to them. We heard earlier from my guest how one of their retreats is going to be about butterflies' wings, about the transformation that comes in the totality of new life. And when these group of disciples knew it was Jesus, for Peter in particular, it's going to the beginning of a whole transformation in his life. The second half of this extended reading shows Jesus reinstating Peter after his denial as a leader. There were 3 denials and there are 3 affirmations. And we're told quite clearly those affirmations are to ministry, to calling, to being one who will help them to catch fish and love those who are being called by him. There's a real sense of taking care of these sheep. And in verse 19, it comes to a climax really. Then he said to him, "Follow me." It was by this lake that Jesus had first spoken to those disciples and called them to follow me. But now the same thing happens at the end, but it isn't really the end. It's the beginning of a whole new ministry. And Peter is certainly reinstated. He must have felt a bit frustrated that he kept being asked the same kind of question. Do you love me? But it was so important for Peter to understand that he did love him. And that not only did he love him, he would follow. And of course, he would become the great leader of the Christian community. But this reinstatement is so very, very important if he's going to be effective and used by God. Remember that word that's spoken very clearly at the end of this passage. Follow me.
If you would like to contact Keith and find out more about today's program, write to us at Wesley Mission, Post Office Box A 5555, Sydney South 1235, or you can send us an email to impacttv@wesleymission.org.au. On our website, you can catch up on past episodes of Wesley Impact, find out more about our work, read online magazines and articles, and connect with us on social media. You can also connect through Keith's blog and stay up to date on all the latest news and information from Wesley Mission, wesleymission.org.au.
Please have no hesitation in contacting me if you'd like to find out more about the Christian faith, if we can be of any help to you, or if you've got questions about anything that you've heard, that you've been alerted to through the programme today. Let's take a look now at some of the events coming up at Wesley Mission.
Wesley Crossroads Christian Fellowship will be meeting on Wednesday, the 8th of May, at the Wesley Centre at 7 p.m. Next Sunday is Mother's Day. Celebrate this special day with Wesley Congregational Life as they honour all mothers at the Wesley Centre on Sunday, the 12th of May, starting at 10 a.m. Our Chinese congregation is now 30 years old. Come and join the celebrations at the Wesley Centre on Sunday the 19th of June at 10 a.m. Come and celebrate Wesley Mission's 207th anniversary at the Wesley Centre on Sunday the 19th of June at 3:30 p.m. For more information on what's coming up at Wesley Mission, please visit our website.
The website's on the screen again for more information about all our news and upcoming events. You can also follow us on social media to stay up to date with all that's going on. I've been speaking with Robyn Morris from Teapot Ministries today. Robyn, I hope you keep those teapots down to the 100 that you
I'll
promised.
try.
Tell us what would happen if somebody was listening to our conversation today and said they'd like to find out more about your ministry. What would you say to them?
I'd say to them to contact us through our email, which is teapotministries@gmail.com, and we will get back to you. We will send you brochures and leaflets about the retreats coming up or our charity days or any of the work that we've got happening. So, or they can contact me on my number.
And we'll make sure those details are available on our website,
Yeah.
and people can see the web pages there. Look, if someone was wanting to begin something in their local community, what you do, I don't mean this in any disparaging way at all, it's quite simple really, isn't it? You're offering friendship, the opportunity for me. What would you say to somebody in that situation?
Give me a buzz and I'd love to talk to you and share with you the model that we use to put on our retreats or even our friendship groups. And we're always looking for people who are happy to take God's love to those where they are planted.
And we live in a big, big island, continent and country.
We do.
So there's lots of places where this kind of ministry could be exercised by people.
Definitely. And I would love to share with you and, encourage you to raise up those groups where women can come and feel blessed, feel relaxed, be able to, just share with one another, not only their love or where they're at in life, but also their craft interests. That's the means we use to bring you all together.
And over real leaf tea and enjoy.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you once again, Robyn, and
My
thank you for
pleasure.
joining us today. I hope we can expect to see you next week, because we've got a great show planned already for next week here on Wesley Impact. Thank you for spending the time in your busy lives to spend it with us. We always enjoy that relationship. May God bless you in all that this week presents to you.
Wesley Mission walks alongside people of all ages struggling with homelessness, addictions, mental health issues and financial stress. To find out more, visit wesleymission.org.au.